Hey guys, this is Johnny from the D&D Miniatures channel, and today we're going to be going over how I store my miniatures. I've had a lot of questions about this, so I thought I'd do a video on my techniques. Okay guys, this is one of the most important tools that I use right here. It's a skirmish pack. This is from probably, I don't know, about 10 years ago. It's a suitcase. And you can put your name and all that good stuff. The little zippers has a place where you can put a lock on it right there, which if you steal the case, the lock isn't going to do you any good. But the disadvantage to a suitcase like this, and you'll see when I open it up, is if you hold it like a suitcase, all your miniatures they all end up at this side of the case. So it's still a great case, I just keep it level when I move it. Now you may see some spaces, some empty spaces, because I already have my factions, my 100-point factions taken out of here. And over the years, we're missing a single piece that would go over this, that kind of held stuff into place, but miniatures would still end up down at the bottom. Over here, I keep some of the larger pieces. I'll just give you a real quick show of what I got over here. Some Titans. Most of my metal miniatures I got rid of, you know, from back in the day, because I just got on this plastic kick. Here I still have an old white dragon that needs rebasing, a good base. And I have a old red dragon that needs work. I'm not the best actual miniature painter. I make miniature terrain, which looks really nice. But as far as painting the figures themselves, I leave that up to somebody else. So over here, what you may notice is I keep a couple different miniatures. Like for him, I've got a whole bunch of him. So I'll try to keep them all inside here together. So when I come to him, I know that I've got a bunch of them. And then I might have let's say if I have 6 of them, I might have a couple rows here or whatever. But yeah. Here's one. And now also the thing about this is I kind of keep all my miniatures separated the best that I can. Like this over here is all adventure type classes. This right here is the same, all adventure type, just really general adventure type stuff. Town's guards, wizards, all that good stuff. And this next one here, this is all elves and a couple other different races in there. And then down here in this final one, I have dwarves and halflings and some drow and stuff like that. So yeah, actually all my halflings are over here in this one. So yeah, basically what I'm saying is I keep them all separate like that. Sometimes they get pushed around and moved to different places, but it's not a big deal. The only problem with this is sometimes the miniatures get stuck underneath of these trays. So you got to watch out for that if you end up picking up one of these types of cases. Overall, it's a great case. Let's move on to what I've done since high school. Right here, the good old fishing box. Now there's one difference with these boxes than what I did in high school. Here's a metal guy right here. But switching over to the plastic minis that started coming out, which I really like that idea. Excuse me. But I used to have that type of foam that's in the skirmish pack in here. And in the old days, the boxes of miniatures came in foam. So you would take that foam that you would get, cut it into strips, and line these with that foam, and then have your metal miniatures right there, and you were good to go. Over here, I have you know, some trolls, some cyclops, big stuff. This is just really general big stuff, which I have tons more of this I'll get to in just a minute, but this is just one area. Over here we have some bugbears, some gnolls, some reptile. All of this is like reptile type creatures, troglodytes, all that good stuff. Snake stuff, all of this. In the back, if you go back to that one, we have all kinds of dragons in throughout this bottom area here. And this case right here is a lot of what I consider in my mind to be natural type stuff. Like we have some mycondids right here. Some mushroommen. That would be like a natural type thing. We have elementals over here. We have wolves, animals, baboons and gorillas, war apes. Up here we have snakes and spiders and swarms, all the swarm pieces and all of that good stuff. Lions. So I consider this to be my natural stuff. Okay, let's move on. Next, my buddy gave me this, which was really cool. And now this is a big case. This holds a lot of stuff. And in here, we'll start with this. I have all of this is undead and devils and all of mummies and wraiths and all of that good stuff. Ghouls, ghast, the whole works. So yeah, that's what I keep there. We got our vampires, we got everything. What's cool about this is seal that up, pop the next level open, and you have another area. In here, these are all orcs, half-orcs, hobgoblins, goblins, kobolds, the whole deal. So that's what we got going on through there. And finally down here we've got some more big guys. Now when I ordered this guy, I thought he was a small miniature. And when he got here, he was freaking huge. I was really happy with that, the Shadow Hulk there. So that was pretty cool. But we got all these bigger guys over here. One of my favorite miniatures to this day, right there. When I first seen this in a Chris Perkins video when I was heavily into 4th edition, and I thought, man, I have to have that. And it's just a beautiful, beautiful miniature. Really big, and you know if you see this guy, you're in trouble. The same goes with the old purple worm. Very nice. And then finally, let me get these back in here the way they're supposed to be. Finally, the Hero Slayer Hydra, which that's just a sweet mini. I mean, that's just, it's really badass. So, I know I'm showing you guys the minis a little bit. I guess this was a video just about storage, but hell, might as well show you a little bit too. This comes back and locks right there. And the whole thing locks up and you're good to go. Then I also use these type of containers. Let me move this down a little bit. And these are just full of all different bigger stuff. Large based mainly. All through here. I do have some Pathfinder minis. They just feel, the Pathfinder ones just feel kind of fragile. I've seen a lot of guys where these are broken in half when they arrive, and some of them, the paint job, this for instance has a pretty terrible paint job. And it just feels like I could break this thing in half just if something went wrong. So that's, but now on the other hand, if you go over here, that's a badass troll. I mean, that's pretty bad. And one of my other favorite ones that I had to pick up was this guy from the Pathfinder line. That is really sweet. It's a clockwork reliquary and just very sweet, very sweet. However, for DDM, there's no stats on these guys. And you know, I tried finding out how to come up with stats so I could put stats for the Pathfinder minis, but it's a little bit harder than just going about it. Here's one of my another prized miniature of mine, which is the gelatinous cube here. So cool when it envelops something, you can put the minis inside of it. The trick to this is don't push that in there all the way. Otherwise you gotta try to dig that out and it's just a bear. You just barely tap it in there and that way you can get it off. Okay, you know, of course we have the big guys. I once owned a colossal red dragon, but so foolishly sold it. So I have to rebuy that. I really, you know, I sell a lot of stuff, buy, sell, and trade a lot of stuff, and I really wish that I wouldn't have sold that colossal red dragon, but I bought a lot of other cool miniature terrain stuff with the money, and hey, you know, I can always buy it again. So yeah, guys, this was just a quick rundown. Oh, I have probably 1, 2, 3. I have 3 boxes. Well, I have about 10 of these that are full of my homemade Hearst Arts miniature dungeons and the 3D terrain from some of the 3D tile sets that Wizards of the Coast released. I have about 10 of these just full of 3D terrain. I have another case like this that has crates, barrels, boxes, beds, all that good stuff in it. And then I have 3 really big of those blue Tupperwares with the lids. They're like 2 feet tall and 3 feet long, full of like houses and trees and all of that kind of good stuff. So that's how I store everything. So yeah, thanks for tuning in, guys. I know I was away from the channel there for a little bit, but I plan on doing a whole lot coming up. I have a bunch of people locally who are getting interested in playing this game. I stepped away for a while. We really got into Dungeon Command for a while. However, kind of ran into some problems with a bunch of the cards, which kind of took the entire game to a screeching halt. And we've never had any problems with these miniature games. We've always had a lot of fun with them, so definitely plan on doing a lot more with this. I've got a couple more videos that I'm going to make right after this one, so I've got some content to upload, so stick around. And yeah, thanks for watching, and make sure you sub, and stay tuned. See ya.